Have you ever thought about what it means to be generous? Let's dive into a tale that beautifully illustrates the essence of generosity. Once upon a time, in a forest stood a magnificent tree. This was no ordinary tree. It was a tree with a heart as vast as the ocean, a tree that knew no bounds when it came to giving. This towering tree was a friend to a little boy who often found solace under its vast, leafy canopy. The tree loved the boy dearly, and the boy, in return, cherished every moment he spent with the tree. As the boy grew, so did his needs, and the tree, in its abundant generosity, catered to them all. When the boy was hungry, the tree offered its delicious, crisp apples. "Take my apples, dear boy," it would say. "They are yours to enjoy." And the boy would feast on them until his hunger was satiated. As the boy grew older, he needed firewood to keep himself warm during the chilly winter nights. The tree, without a second thought, offered its strong branches. "Take my branches," it urged, "they will keep you warm." And the boy did, using them to fuel his fires on many a cold night. Years passed, and the boy, now a grown man, needed a house. Once again, the tree stepped in, offering its robust trunk. "Take my trunk," it insisted. "You can use it to build your house." The man did just that, constructing a cozy dwelling from the tree's trunk. Finally, when the tree had nothing left to give, it offered the only thing it had left, its stump. The man, now old and weary, needed a place to rest. "Come," the tree invited, "rest on my stump." And the old man did, finding comfort and respite on the tree's humble stump. So the tree gave everything it had for the boy's happiness. What a generous tree, don't you think? Can you keep something that doesn't belong to you? Let's venture into a tale that explores this question. A tale about an honest woodcutter. In a small village nestled between a dense forest and a sparkling river, lived a humble woodcutter. Every day he would journey into the forest, his iron axe slung over his shoulder, ready to gather wood for his family. One day, as he was chopping away, his grip slipped, and his axe plunged into the river. The woodcutter watched in dismay as his only means of livelihood disappeared into the depths of the river. He sat on the riverbank, his heart heavy with worry. Suddenly, a shimmering figure emerged from the water, a water fairy. She had seen the whole incident and held out a golden axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. The woodcutter shook his head. "No, that's not mine. My axe was made of iron." The fairy disappeared under the water and reappeared holding a silver axe. "Perhaps this is yours?" she inquired. Again the woodcutter denied, "That's not my axe either. My axe was a simple one made of iron." Finally the fairy dove back into the water and resurfaced holding an iron axe. "This must be your axe," she stated. The woodcutter's face lit up. "Yes, that's my axe, thank you." Impressed by his honesty, the fairy presented the woodcutter with all three axes, the golden, the silver, and his own iron one. "You could have claimed the golden or silver axe, but you chose to tell the truth. Your honesty should be rewarded," she said. With a grateful heart, the woodcutter returned home, his arms laden with unexpected rewards. He had lost his axe, but his honesty had brought him far more than he could have ever chopped with his iron axe. The woodcutter was honest, and his honesty led to unexpected rewards. Honesty truly is the best policy. Have you ever waited for something really important to you? Today we're going to talk about a farmer. Not just any farmer, but a patient farmer. This farmer had a special understanding of the land and the crops he grew. You see, farming isn't just about planting seeds and hoping for the best. It's about patience, persistence, and a whole lot of hope. Our farmer knew this all too well. He'd wake up at the break of dawn, his hands roughened by the earth, his face weather-beaten by the sun and wind. He'd plant his seeds diligently, one by one, row by row, until his entire field was filled with tiny specks of hope. Then he'd wait. He'd wait through the scorching heat of summer when the sun seemed determined to wilt anything in its path. He'd wait through the biting cold of winter when the earth seemed too frozen to nurture any life. He'd wait through the unpredictable showers of spring and the gusty winds of autumn. And while he waited, he'd continue to care. He'd water the seeds, clear the weeds, and protect his field from pests. He'd do all this with a quiet patience that seemed to echo the rhythm of nature itself. He understood that he couldn't rush the process. The seeds would grow in their own time, and all he could do was provide the best conditions for them to thrive. Despite the long wait and the harsh weather, our patient farmer never gave up. He knew that good things come to those who wait, and wait he did, keeping faith in the seeds he'd planted and the care he'd given them. And then one day his patience paid off. His field bloomed with a bountiful crop, each stalk a testament to his patience and perseverance. His heart swelled with joy at the sight, knowing that his hard work and patience had borne fruit. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. The farmer's patience led to a plentiful harvest. So the next time you find yourself waiting for something important, remember our patient farmer. Let his story inspire you to wait with grace and patience, knowing that good things come to those who wait. Do you think a small creature can do big things? Imagine a world where size doesn't define your courage, where the smallest creature can make the biggest difference. This is the tale of a brave little mouse. In a dense, vibrant forest, there lived many animals, big and small. Among them was a tiny, nimble mouse, often overlooked due to his small size. But what this mouse lacked in size, he made up for in courage. One sunny afternoon, a deep, sorrowful roar echoed through the forest. It was the king of the jungle himself, a majestic lion trapped in a hunter's net. The other animals watched from a distance, too scared of the hunter's trap to help. However, the tiny mouse, hearing the lion's distress, decided to act. Undeterred by the size of the task ahead, the mouse scurried towards the trapped lion. His heart pounded in his tiny chest, but he was determined. He reached the lion and began to gnaw at the thick ropes of the net. His tiny teeth, sharp and quick, worked tirelessly. He did not stop, not even for a moment, until the ropes gave way. The lion, free at last, roared with joy and gratitude. He thanked the tiny mouse, expressing his admiration for the mouse's bravery. The mouse, panting and tired, simply replied, "Every creature has the power to help others, no matter how small they might be." The news of the mouse's bravery spread throughout the forest. The animals, who had once overlooked the mouse, now admired him. They realized that courage isn't about size, but about the willingness to help others in need. Even the smallest among us can make a big difference. The little mouse showed us that bravery knows no size. This tale serves as a reminder that size is not a measure of courage. Like the brave little mouse, we too have the potential to make a big difference, no matter how small we may seem. What do you think makes someone truly wise? Let's take a journey to the heart of the forest where the wise owl resides. She's not just any owl. She's known far and wide for her wisdom, a trait that's not just about knowing things, but more about how to use that knowledge. Once upon a time, in the lush green forest, a sudden spark ignited a fire. Panic ensued amongst the forest dwellers. The flames danced wildly, licking the sky, and the smoke began to cast a grim shadow over the once serene habitat. As the fire raged on, the animals didn't know what to do or where to go. In the midst of this chaos, the wise owl remained calm. She knew that panic would only lead to more problems. With her vast knowledge of the forest, she had a plan. She spread her wings wide and soared above the treetops. From her lofty vantage point, she could see a clear path to safety, a path that bypassed the hungry flames. Descending back to the forest floor, she gathered the frightened animals. With a voice firm yet soothing, she instructed them to follow her. She led them through the winding forest, her path illuminated by the moonlight. The animals, trusting in the wisdom of the owl, followed her. Although they were scared, they felt comforted knowing they were in the wise owl's capable wings. As dawn broke, the animals found themselves in a part of the forest untouched by the fire. They were safe. The wise owl had used her wisdom not just to save herself, but to lead all the animals to safety. In the face of danger, she had remained calm and used her knowledge to find a solution. Wisdom is not just about knowing a lot, it's about using that knowledge to help others. The wise owl didn't hoard her wisdom. She used it for the good of all. And that, dear friends, is what truly makes someone wise. The wise owl used her wisdom for the good of all.